Why is it stopped? Why? YouTube's a piece of shit. I know that's kind of frozen, but it just gets to the point of like, for me personally, to go, YouTube's a piece of shit. Now, why is YouTube a piece of shit? It's a very good question. The obvious answer is what pretty much anyone would tell you, but my answer personally I like to give. Think about it. You know, not obviously everyone don't like YouTube at the moment, but you used to have this excellent video editor in YouTube. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved it because me with shit internet back then. I'm all right now, but me with shit internet back then, I could record footage, or what I could do is I could split the video into 30-second parts and render those 30-second parts, and then upload all those parts onto YouTube, because each part would be something like 3 to 500 megabytes. Yeah, because obviously rendering it at 1080p, and it would still take ages, but not as long. Doesn't mean I have to keep my computer on for 4 days. I mean, that's how shit my upload was, real shit. And it was great. And then they took it away. Well, obviously, I don't have that problem anymore, but still, it still doesn't stop it from being really shit. So basically, okay, that doesn't want to work. Don't bother. We'll do something else. We'll do something else. Fine. Whatever. You know? Yeah, I just yeah. I thought, yeah. Who cares? It's funny how the games I have the most problem getting to work are all fucking Tony Hawk games. The rest of them are like, yeah, no problem, except for Yanya Cabalista. Everyone else was like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, the first time, no problem. All right. Sorry for the wait. I know it's getting annoying. Well, we'll have to do this one, won't we? So I've just tried to do the PlayStation 2 version of American Wasteland, but I got the collector's edition. I was like, oh, collector's edition. Let's see, does that add anything? I didn't know whether or not the save file was going to work, but I didn't really care. And it just, as you saw, it just froze. So now we're playing the GameCube version. Haha. Yeah, so we're playing the GameCube version now. Amazing, yeah. This is when this one just stops halfway in terms of loading. Loading, probably. Don't have a save file for this one, though. Great modes. Free skate. Classic skater is obviously your creative skater. We're not going to create a skater, because I don't see a point. We're just going to go straight into it. So we've got Tony Hawk, Tony Alva, Bob Burnquist, Bam Margera, Rodney Mullen, Andrew Reynolds, Paul Rodriguez, Ryan Scheckler, Bill Wong Song. See, that bloke, I'm surprised wasn't in previous Tony Hawk games, because you know he was, I guess, because he was pretty well known skateboarder. Rick Thorne, Tony Trujillo, Mike Valley, and Stewie Williams. Skaters, which we haven't got any. So we'll just pick, I'm going to go Bam. I always go Bam. So I like how all of them have the same stats. It's interesting. Play level. More than likely only have one level Hollywood that we can play. Yep. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm not going to bother trying with the GameCube to get a save file to work, because I'm just wasting my time. I've got a limited amount of time this morning to be able to play a video game. We're just going to go straight into it. Ah, beautiful. Runs pretty fast. Playing all these skateboarding games. Oh, go on, Bam. Freak out, boy. Screw that bird. I don't want to play that bird. So yes, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, my personal favourite Tony Hawk's video game. Solely because of the reason of has a lot of levels, and I find the levels are extremely well built in this game. And that's just the truth, really. tried too far there. I just find the levels in this are extremely well built. They're extremely diverse. They are perfect for skateboarding. Just, you know, little things like the red carpet there. Oh, beautiful, bam! Smack your head in. But just perfect examples of just good level design, I think, really, more than anything. Yeah, and you could go, oh, but what about the... sheep freedom. We give you no sheep freedom. Sorry about that. I got a little bit of a cold at the moment. It's not going away. It's fucking irritating me. The worst cold I get, the worst of a cold I get, is a bit of blocked nose, a little bit of a sore throat. Grind all the way down there. Oh yeah, I remember. See, look. Go up here and you get the damn thing. But yeah, the worst I get of a cold is it's just a blocked nose and sometimes a little bit of a sore throat. Now, don't get me wrong, it will try to give me a cough. Every time it will try to give me a cough. Oh, bam, bend there. Yeah, it'll try and give me a cough, but if you actively try to stop a cough, by if you like, you get a bit of a tickle in the back of your throat. You actively try to stop it, you'll find that you're quite effective. It's quite effective in terms of oh, bam! What's going on? I don't know, I'm getting distracted. I can't formulate an opinion while I'm fucking doing this. Because American Wasteland had destructible environments, just like Underground 2 did. Like, for example, you can destroy that... You see that dinosaur holding the globe? The Tyrannosaurus Rex holding the globe? Oh, it might not be a Tyrannosaurus Rex, in all fairness, but... Yeah, you see it holding the globe. You can destroy that, and it'll come down and... It'll come down and... like, alter a level in a way, but they did it on a more smaller scale. But as you can see, compared to, like, you think of like Boston, much smaller level than this. So you got this gigantic level you can play around in. And you got destructible objects. You got a mass amount of playable characters, including secret characters. There's a lot of secret characters. I found the creator character was really good, and the character story in this game is my second favorite. Yeah, nothing will beat Underground 2 in my opinion, but it's definitely the character story is better than Underground, 100%. And you can do this. You can go BMXing if you want to go BMXing. Not even joking. You can go BMXing. You can go and do BMXing. This fucking blew my mind. As a kid who had never played, yeah, as a kid who had never played a Matt Hoffman game, you know, rest in peace. This blew my mind, being able to go around and ride a bike. It just completely and utterly destroyed me. I just couldn't believe it. Didn't land that. Very well. But yeah, it just completely blew my mind. I also like to make the point that this was my last Tony Hawk game. You get less points for these tricks. Just notice that. This was my last Tony Hawk's game. Oh, sad emoji. Sad emoji. Oh, there goes the bike. Sad emoji, what a fucking mess. Brilliant. Now, don't get me wrong. I got Project 8. But Project 8 immensely disappointed me. Oh, it's a bit hard. I was a bit harder with the bike, but yeah, it immensely disappointed me. That's just the truth, you know. Compared to this game, it was a downgrade, and I understand what Neversoft were trying to do, but it was a downgrade, 100%. This was their masterpiece in terms of Tony Hawk's. You know, a lot of people disagree and say the Pro Skater, but everyone has their own personal preference. That's just the truth. There you go. Want to get off the bike? You can get off the bike at any point and just leave the bike there. Now there's two bikes. You can litter the world. I just realised, if it does that, you could technically litter the world in bikes. Oh my god! Don't do that. Call the police. Call the police. You can't have this. Shut your asshole. Litter the whole entire area as bikes. Look at that. I think you can knock down scaffolding. Or madness. Oh, I'm sorry. It's killing me. You could literally litter bikes everywhere. There's now two bikes. That's crazy. But yeah, this you know, everyone has their own opinion on which Tony Hawk game is the best. A lot of people sit with two. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Fair enough. I would agree with you with it being the best Tony Hawk's game on the original PlayStation. I would agree with you. Even because it was, you know, let's be honest, the PlayStation versions of Pro Skater 3 and 4 weren't even made by Neversoft. They were made by Shabba Games, which by no means were bad. They just Pro Skater 2 was the Pro Skater 2 will always be, probably in most people's eyes, the best Pro Skater game. By leaps and bounds. For me, it's Pro Skater 3. I'm sorry, but no, Pro Skater 3 was, you know, that the memories I have with Pro Skater 3 was the one. Me. Now, don't get me wrong, I had Pro Skater 2. I had all of them. I had Tony Hawk Skateboarding, because that's what it was originally called here in the UK. It was called Tony Hawk Skateboarding, believe it or not. I want to grind the fucking crane. Not the bottom of the crane, but the actual arm of the crane. You know, but I would still stand by with Pro Skater 3 being the best. That's just my opinion. I really like cruise ship level. You know, in all fairness, I can't name a bad level in Pro Skater 3, but I can name a bad level in Pro Skater 2. Skater Island. I don't care. The actual level that was a skate park. The level that was supposed to be like Skater Island or whatever, where it's like a bunch of skate rinks. I find those the worst levels. These are the best levels, where the ramps and everything is just integrated into like a city. For me, that is the best. Bam! Look at me. Look at his majestic face. Get on the bus. Come on, glitch into the bus. Start playing the Star Wars soundtrack. You cannot beat that who is a Jedi and a skateboarder. What you don't realize is I actually am completely and utterly a Digimon. You cannot beat what cannot be beaten. Look at that. Better physics, better. Look, I know you could do this better in this game than you can do in GTA, can't you? But yeah, you know, when it comes to like story-driven Tony Hawk's games, because obviously that's Underground onwards, pretty much. American Wasteland is the best. Not in terms of gameplay, in terms of levels, in terms of everything else but the story. The best story is Underground 2, in my opinion. Like I said, Project 8 disappointed me, so I didn't bother with Project 8. I didn't. You know, I bought the game on I bought the PlayStation 2 version. Luckily, because obviously I didn't have. This is when I didn't have a PS3. I was like, oh, I can't get the PS3 version, so I got the PS2 version, which was hard to find in the UK at the time. I will admit, you know, they're trying to push the PS3 massively, so PS2 was becoming harder and harder to find. But I found it as a kid, and I got it. I got my parents to get it for me, obviously, for like a birthday present. And it disappointed me. It just, oh look, Blue Man Group. It just disappointed me. It just wasn't as good as American Wasteland. You know, by American Wasteland was better by leaps and bounds compared to Project 8. And then, obviously, because I looked at Project 8, and then after playing Project 8, I realised that American Wasteland they could potentially do no better than American Wasteland. That was their masterpiece. That was their. There's a name for it. I can't think of the name for it. But either way, that was their masterpiece. You know, they couldn't go further than American Wasteland. Even though I think they could, but you know, that maybe they didn't think they could. And then you had Proving Grounds, which a lot of people liked Proving Grounds, but at the same time they were like, I think the problem is that with Project 8 and Proving Grounds, people were comparing it to previous Tony Hawk's games, and people were going, fuck me, Underground 2 and American Wasteland, and even Underground's better than this, or maybe, I don't know, I never played Proving Grounds personally. No, I will be playing it in this. I think I actually know, I've played Proving Grounds once, so it'd be interesting to, and that was a long time ago, so I think I played it around a friend's house a long time ago. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I played it around a friend's house a long time ago. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that again. And then there's obviously obviously Neversoft decided to go away from that, and then and work on the Guitar Hero series, wasn't it? Fair enough. Guitar Hero series was extremely popular. I don't blame them for it. Just people go, oh, I want Neversoft to come back and make another Tony Hawk's game. Well, Neversoft doesn't exist anymore. What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure they have disbanded as a developer. The best bet you have, unfortunately, you know, it's like with Shabba Games. Shabba Games did a pretty good job. The best bet you have. Do you know who I would want to make a skateboarding game? Personally, do you know who I would want to make a skateboarding game? Visarious Visions, because it's been proven that Visarious Visions know how to make a skateboarding game. If American Skaterland is anything to go by, they could make one. If they did like a remaster of an old Tony Hawk's game, they decided to do a remaster. Like, obviously you had Pro Skater HD, but let's be honest, Pro Skater HD was done by Robomundo, and I know Activision's trying to have Robomundo be the developer for the skateboarding games, but sorry Activision, and not sorry at the same time because you're a shit company anyway. But you're getting better. You're at least better than EA. But Activision, Robomundo are shit. Why have you got them as the ones making the fucking skateboarding games? They don't know what they're doing. They don't. Look at fucking look at Pro Skater HD. No, that's the best one they've done, and even it was received fairly poorly, really. And then you look at Pro Skater 5 and what a fucking waste of time that was. Have Robomundo. You don't. The thing is, what they don't realise is they don't need Tony Hawk. Don't need Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk doesn't matter. Get Visaris Visions to make a skateboarding game. Have it have a unique name. You look at Session. Look at Skater XL on PC. They seem to be doing well. There's 2 different formats. So have Visaris Visions. Have a go at making a skateboarding game. Give it a unique name. You never know. You might create a new IP. They seem to. I think it's like with EA. They seem to think they seem to think that the whole skateboarding trend is gone. And I'm like, you do realise that the skateboarding trend was fueled by fellow skateboarding video game enthusiasts like myself. It's like Session and Skater XL are on the list. They're on the list for me to play. Definitely. So, I will buy them. I will give the developer money for those games. This makes me laugh. It's like, you do realise that skateboarding's still popular. Because, let's be honest, if Visaris Visions and Activision said, if you heard a game, because obviously Visaris Visions are pretty competent, they did the Crash remasters. If Visaris Visions says they're making a spiritual successor to Tony Hawk's, and it was actually going to be a spiritual successor to the Underground series, for example, so that, let's say they called it, I don't know, Visaris Visions Underground 3. Stupid. I got a much better name for it. I honestly, do you know I've got a much better name for a skateboarding game, and anyone can use this name. I don't care. Anyone could use this name for their skateboarding game if they want to. I don't really care, because I ain't gonna make it into a skateboarding game. And that name is Burnside Grind. Think about it. Burnside Grind. It rolls off the tongue nicely, and it's a nod to the Burnside skate park, which I can't remember where the Burnside skate park is. But Burnside Grind. What just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I always thought that would be a perfect name. Imagine if Visaris Visions came out, Burnside Grind, spiritual successor to the Tony Hawk franchise. You don't even have to have Tony Hawk in it. Look, you call it Burnside Grind, and you offered to skateboarders, some of the retro skateboarders like Bob Berskowitz, Rodney Mullen, Bam Margera, even Tony Hawk. You offer to them. We're not pushing it as your type of game because he's obviously getting old, but they could have it set so that you have all these retro skateboarders as veterans in the game, which can teach you tricks that they from their era that they've mastered and they've defined. Like with Tony Hawk, it would be his ramp skills. His being able to go from able to get really big air, wasn't he, Tony Hawk, if I remember correctly. Rodney Mullen, it was his manuals. His manuals is what defined him. So you'd have those guys. They would train you and they'll teach you their tricks and that. And you could have them as veterans, and then you could have new skateboarders, ones that are popular now, be the playable characters. But hell, you could even have those veteran skaters as a playable character as well. So you have a mix of old and new skaters. I think it would be really good, personally. I think it'd be really good. I think it's an idea. I think it's an idea that Activision would be great in pursuing. Really great in pursuing. It's easy. I'll say it's easy money, but it is easy money because all you've got to do, right? You can have a dedicated soundtrack, and you can have it have 20 tracks. You can pay to have the soundtrack have 20 tracks. 20. And people will go, 20 tracks? What am I supposed to do? That's barely anything compared to the old games. But do you know how you go around it? You don't know how you go around having it 20 music tracks. You include the same thing that GTA does. That Rockstar does with GTA. You have a user music playlist. You could call it a mixtape option. That's what you could call it. You want to play real to the you want to play to the retro crowd? Call it a mixtape. So you'd be able to tune into like maybe radio stations. You basically you could even say that how you listen to music in the game is through a Sony Walkman if you want to create a partnership with Sony, or just through some kind of MP3 player, a portable MP3 player. So the skater's always got the headphones in, but you don't have to show them. You can have them because obviously it's set in new times. You can have them do all wireless. You can have wireless like AirPods, for example. You don't have to have AirPods. I'd rather you didn't, but you can have something in there. Because obviously Tony Hawk's was about branding and that. You can have branded wireless headphones in there, and and whatnot to make up for the thing. So you can have it so that you create one animation. So when he comes up to a guy, he just literally goes up to his ear. You don't even have to have anything in his hand, but just goes up to his ear and then pulls his hand down from his ear, and that tells that he's taken the wireless headphone out of his ear so he can listen to the people talk. Just little one animation, you know what I mean? Just like that. I think it'd be within Activision's best interest to do it. Have a mixtape option. Allow people, because you can do it on the PS4, you can do it on the Xbox One, you can do it on PC. PC. The only one I don't think you can do it for is Nintendo Switch, but then I would imagine you'd probably, actually no, you probably would. But then at the end of the day, with a Nintendo Switch, it's portable, isn't it? So technically, if people really want to, they could put their iPod in their ear and play the game. Like I said, quite a lot of people wouldn't surprise me. They just listen to their own music over Tony Hawk, and then they don't, they don't really listen to what's happening in the game. But they don't need to because they can just read the text of what the challenges they need to do and whatnot. So you could have for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, you can have a mixtape option where people can put in a folder. For the PS4 and Xbox One, you can do it so that by going on the mixtape option in options, it will create the folder in the music folder. PS. I don't know Xbox One, but I know with PS4, it'll create a music folder, and it will call it Burnside Grind. And then in there, Burnside Grind, then it'll open that folder, and there'll be another folder, and that'll be user music. Then you can put your own tracks in there, and then you can go onto the mixtape option, and it will play a random track, shuffled, obviously, of your music. And you can even set it in the options. Do you want your user playlist to be shuffled, or do you want it to be played in order? You can then have anything in there. You can have You can have the retro tracks. You can have When Worlds Collide by Powerman 5000. You can have Guerrilla Radio. You could have AC/DC with you could have with TNT. Ace of Spades. You could have Less Than Jake. You can have Fear. You can have anyone, any band from the 90s, any kind of music. You'd have fucking in Eurobeat playing while you're playing skateboarding. Activision, come on, Activision. You know what I mean? You're doing all these revivals with Spyro and Crash. Why don't you revive something else that was popular on the original PlayStation back in the time? Revive Tony Hawk's. But don't have to call it Tony Hawk's. You don't have to renew your license with Tony Hawk. Create a game called Burnside Grind. Invite skateboarders to be in the game if they don't want to be. If Tony Hawk says no, I don't want to be in the game unless I'm paid stupid amounts of money, tell him to go fuck himself. And put someone else in there. Have it be based around your created character. Have whatever veteran skaters. Chad Musker. I don't care. Chad Musker. I don't know. He might not be skateboarding for a long time, but you could have it so that those guys have come back and because they've heard of how good you are as a skateboarder or whatever, and they want to teach you their tricks to the new generation. Whatever, innit? But anyway, that's me going off on a rant for a bit too long. But I think Activision could make a lot of money off of it. Like I said, they've already got the mechanics. They've already got it. They've got it. They're guaranteed to have the source code for the Tony Hawk's games. If they haven't got the source code for it, they're fucking stupid. They've got to have the source code for it. You just got to edit the source code slightly. So it would literally be a spiritual successor to the Tony Hawk series. But anyway, that's me going on for a bit too long. Thoroughly, I enjoy American Wasteland, very good game. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.